Hello, everybody. Pirate Commander here, and we'll be talking about the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander spoilers. So if you wish to avoid that, now's your chance to scroll away. 3, 2, 1. And today we will be talking about Admiral Brass Unsinkable for 2 blue, black, and red for a legendary creature human pirate 3/3. With when Admiral Brass Unsinkable enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may return target pirate creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. It has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains haste until end of turn. Now, this is a really neat reanimator commander, I guess. It's not great. I mean, paying 5 mana for a 3/3 isn't the greatest thing. It kind of fuels itself by milling 4 cards. But to only reanimate one thing, and it only buffs the things that Admiral Brass is reanimating. So, it's very underwhelming to me. Now, a lot of questions popped into my head when I was looking over this card. And that's why I'm a little late making this video, because I wanted to research some things and think about some things before making this video. The first question in my head was, what pirates get worse as a 4/4? And the answer is, not many. So far, only one pirate loses power and toughness if it's reanimated through Admiral Brass Unsinkable. And that's Dargo the Shipwrecker. Now, Dargo's a 7/5, basically with Trample is its only ability. Its other ability just makes him cheaper to cast, so that doesn't matter. But it becomes a 4/4 with Trample if reanimated through Brass. And a few pirates lose toughness, and that's Captain Nagathrod and Lightning Rig Crew. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing that they're losing toughness. They get more power out of it. But at the same time, you're not really running these in a pirate deck. And then a few pirates lose power when reanimated through Brass. Armored Galleon, Boarding Party, Crimson Fleet Commodore. And there's one changeling that loses power toughness. And actually, it only loses power. And that's Changeling Berserker. So these are the pirates that lose something when reanimated through Brass. Every other pirate, every other changeling gets stronger in both power and toughness. So that's pretty neat, but you're still only reanimating once a turn. Now let's look at the finality counters, because when we're reanimating, they come back with those finality counters. And what that basically says is, if a creature with a finality counter on it would die, exile it instead. Now, we really don't want our pirates to get exiled when they die. So we want to do something with these finality counters. Now, I've been seeing online, people are recommending Ozolith. Do not buy Ozolith for Admiral Brass Unsinkable. The Ozolith does not remove counters when a creature dies. The Ozolith makes copies of the counters when the creature dies. And you can look at the rulings page for the Ozolith. So please do not buy Ozolith for Admiral Brass Unsinkable. There are other cards to get rid of these finality counters. For instance, Soul Diviner, remove a counter from an artifact, creature, land, planeswalker you control, and then you can draw a card. Yeah, it's a zombie wizard, but it is a way to get rid of those finality counters. There's also Power Conduit, an artifact. You tap it and remove a counter from a permanent. So for this instance, one of your pirates with a finality counter, and then you replace it with a +1/+1 counter, which is pretty neat, because now your pirates are 5/5s. So these are the simplest... Oh, no, wait. There's also Nesting Grounds. For 1 tap, move a counter from target permanent you control to another target permanent. Activate this ability when you cast sorcery, whenever you could cast a sorcery. This is pretty neat because it doesn't specify that you have to put it on a permanent that you control. You just have to move it from a permanent that you control. So, put those finality counters on opponent's creatures or other permanents. Exile an enchantment, exile whatever you want. And the last idea that I had for this card was, how can we really abuse it? It's really hard to abuse this card. It feels like you're jumping through so many hoops to begin with. But I was thinking, what about copy spells? Or more so, the shapeshifters, things that don't make legendary copies. There's not a lot to choose from. We have the Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, Spark Double, Helm of the Host. There's not a lot of options here. They cost 4 mana, and it feels like it kind of slows down your strategy, spending so much just to make a copy of this new brass. And plus, you're going to be milling yourself every time you make a copy. Also, if you're using Sakashima, Spark Double, they're not pirates, so you won't be able to reanimate them. So I don't know where they're going with this precon. I'm curious to see, but as of right now, I'm not impressed. And the old brass just looks better for a pirate commander, in my opinion. But I'll leave that to y'all. What do you guys think of the new Admiral Brass Unsinkable commander card? Please leave a comment. If you have any other ideas, let me know. I'm open to listening. And with that, hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.